Hi, Matt Stait from the Festival of Martial Arts again. And today I've got with me Donavan Wint. Hi, Donavan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank
Oh,
you for
thanks.
having me.
Oh, my pleasure, mate. Thanks for coming on. So I'm quite sort of excited to have a chat with you today because you're coming to the festival and you're going to be hopefully presenting some information about some things. But what you're doing is really interesting. Hopefully we can have a chat about that a little bit further. But first of all, I like to start these the same way, which is, can you please give us a brief overview of yourself, your history, and what it is that you do for the people that may not have heard of you yet?
Okay, cool. I'm going to do a super quick brief because I know people have low attention spans, so I'm going to help you. But my brief is I've got a martial arts background, so I did kickboxing ever since I was like 8. So I know martial arts well, and I know like the people and how to talk to people within the martial arts world. But then what I actually do now is I do marketing, so I help martial arts schools grow through Facebook ads, acquisition systems, and just help people get people through the door. And I'm big on what I'm big on now within the last few months is just helping people as much as possible. So not just paid services, but just helping people understand what Facebook ads is, helping people to get people through the door, and just yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's start at the beginning with that then. Now, obviously, you're still quite a young guy. And so quite often we talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing martial arts for 50 odd years, all that sort of thing. However, that is juxtaposed at the balance of that is that, yeah, you're not necessarily an older guy, but you understand the modern technologies in a way that us older people quite often don't. So it's a really good, interesting point for you to be because you've been around long enough to have done martial arts for a long enough time to understand it at a level. So let's start at the beginning. Then you first started doing what within the marketing? Where did you begin with that?
So I started specifically doing Facebook ads, and I tried working with gym owners and martial arts school owners, but I found that I definitely prefer martial arts school owners because I find that a lot of martial arts school owners are still willing to learn. So I think that's something that martial arts gives us. So a lot of people, not everyone, when they do martial arts, becomes less of a stubborn person. They're open to learning new things. So whether that's a technique, a new kick, or whatever, I think martial arts learners are more open to learning things. So when it came to me helping them with advertising, they'd be more open to new ideas. As I found when I was trying to work with gyms and things like that, like I'd give ideas or I'd say we need to do this, and they'd be very rigid in how they want to do things. So I started doing Facebook ads. We're trying to work with martial arts schools and gyms, but now it's kind of tailored more to just work with martial arts schools and helping them grow.
Yeah, yeah. So the Facebook ads themselves, then, that's an interesting journey with the ads because there was a time when you could just put a couple of quid down and you would get results. Those days are definitely gone. So how do you personally look at your Facebook ads in a way that's different to other people?
So, first of all, we run Facebook ads properly. So there's a lot of people who, when they run Facebook ads, who just run them wrong. So we're trying to get leads. We're trying to get people who are going to turn up. And sorry, I'll try and actually give context because I actually want people to listen to this and then be like, oh, I'm running my ads wrong. So what you actually need to do is people, first and foremost, a lot of people who come to me are running their ads wrong. So they're trying to get likes, they're trying to get comments, they're trying to get people engaging with their stuff, which is great. And across a long enough time frame is going to result to people, I'm sure, trying out your school and things like that. But to get people through the door, we realistically want leads. We want details so we can actually contact people and turn them into leads. That's where I started helping people get leads. Now we're trying to move more down to actually helping people turn those leads into members because what I've found is it doesn't matter how many leads we get people. I've had schools that we've worked with where we've got them like £2 a lead, £3 a lead, hundreds and hundreds of leads, but they're struggling to convert them because they don't have a sales process. So that's what we're trying to fix now. We're trying to help martial arts school owners not only learn how to run Facebook ads themselves or us run them for them, but also learn how to turn those leads into members. So we've got some pretty cool stuff coming up that I can't talk about yet, but we've got some pretty cool stuff that's coming up, which is going to really, really help martial arts school owners, the overall acquisition problem.
Okay, right. So if we can't talk about that, let's keep on with something that we can talk about to a degree. So with the Facebook ads themselves, and as we said, it's evolved. The algorithms have changed. Facebook itself has changed. It's way more of a pay-to-play platform now than it's ever been. And so if you're looking at that, and again, I'm not trying to get you to, basically give the cow away for free kind of deal. But is there a one or two instant tips that people could look at now and think, they can change what they're doing in a positive way just by actioning those?
Yes, so there's loads. So first of all, we need to the picture, the image or the video or whatever you're sharing out today is the first thing that people see. So if your picture isn't high quality and it's not some smiles and things like that, it's not going to grab people's attention. I know you do TikTok, Matt, so you know all about this. We want to grab people's attention instantly. If you don't grab their attention within, people say 5 seconds, but it's not. It's like half a second. I'm sure you know yourself. Like you have to grab their attention instantly. If we're not doing that, they're not going to go on to read your ad copy. So you can have the best ad copy in the world, but if your picture's terrible, your video is terrible, then it's not going to work. And a warning for a lot of martial arts school owners, you might be like, oh, well, he's not talking to me. Like, take a step back and look from a new member's point of view. Imagine you don't know your martial arts school. Does that picture still look good? Chances are sometimes it doesn't. So you want to take a step back and look from like a member's perspective, a new person who knows nothing about your school, isn't tied to it. Does that picture still look good? Does that video still showcase the high quality martial arts that you've got in your school? Your ad copy, you can use things like ChatGPT that will just write you out ad copies. So like people like me soon, maybe non-existent, but we got ChatGPT and things like that can write ad copies for you. So go on softwares like that, go on YouTube, have a play around. I've got some stuff on YouTube where I literally show people how to use ChatGPT. There's no excuse for not being able to make decent ads. In fact, ask ChatGPT, how can you make your ads better? And it'll probably tell you. And then other things, we want to make sure we run in the correct type of ads. So run lead forms. Don't run things just trying to get likes and comments and things like that. I'd say your organic posting is going to be getting you your likes and comments. If you're running ads and you're paying to play, as we say, make sure you're trying to get leads. Make sure you're trying to get something actually out of it so you can turn those leads into new members. And I'm going to say one last one because I can speak about this all day. One last one. On the lead form, I know a lot of people, they say that the quality of the leads on Facebook are terrible, and they really can be. But what you want to do is you want to ask additional questions on those lead forms. So don't just get names, email addresses, and phone numbers because they auto-populate. We want to ask additional questions. So give them the options of the classes that you do on that lead form and get them to pick which one would be best for them. Because if they can't pick one, we're never going to turn up to your school anyway. So instead of wasting time calling them, find out if they can actually turn up for a class, and then maybe ask them what it is about martial arts that they think it can help their child with. So you can get an understanding into their mind. And then also, if someone hasn't got a reason why they want to come to your martial arts school, a proper reason, they were probably going to be a time waster anyway. So yeah, that's a quick few fire things.
No, that's excellent. I mean, all of that is absolute gold. And just tracking back just a little bit, yeah, they've done studies on the attention span for millennials and these generations in regards to advertising, and it's under 2.5 seconds. So, yeah, the 8 second is a study on millennials' concentration levels for content itself. Yeah. When it comes to advertising, it's actually way less. It is under 2.5 seconds. So when you're looking at that, yeah, it's a very tiny window of opportunity in that regard. So where do we think then? You mentioned ChatGPT there as well. Where do you think with new technologies, how is that going to play within martial arts? Because I know there's some people are embracing it, but there's still an awful lot of reluctance from a lot of quarters in regards to moving into the modern age. So how do you see tech and martial arts combining in the future?
So I think it will combine slowly. And I think that's because in the martial arts world, there's a lot. I do think as far as embracing new things, we are a little slow with that. Like the stuff that people are like coming across now and being like wowed by, and I speak to people and they're like, this CRM system does this. And I'm thinking, I heard about that years ago. So I do think it's going to be a slow process. So I don't think anyone's going to be like left behind now. But I do think people need to start embracing it like sooner rather than later, because ChatGPT can like write your posts for you. It can write your Facebook ads for you. It can do all sorts of things. So if you're competing with other ads out there who are embracing and using AI systems like this to try and make their ads better or whatever it is that they're using these systems for, you are behind them as far as what you can do, because I've used ChatGPT. I know marketing techniques. I know how to grab people's attention. And some of the stuff it spits out, I'm like, wow. So you're already behind people who are using it. So I think a lot of people are like how I was at first. It's scary, like AI systems. The idea of them are very, very scary. But regardless of if you use them or not, they're going to keep growing and keep growing. You not using it isn't going to do anything as far as its growth. So I think you should embrace it and try and work with it, as opposed to just being one of the people who don't ever use it. I think there's going to be people who use it really, really well and grow really well using it. And there's going to be people who just refuse to use it and are going to struggle because of it. I think martial arts, it's not as bad because, AI, it's going to be a while before AI is showing people how to do kicks and going and teaching martial arts classes. So it's not as bad, but especially in my industry where it's marketing, it's me against the people who are using it. So I have to find ways that I can embrace AI. And I think it's the same for martial arts. If you can get a post that would have took you 10 minutes before written in 30 seconds, why waste those extra 9.5 minutes? So I think it's worth using.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one of the major factors is the time, isn't it? And the fact that it can just do things in a way that would take us hours, even days at times, and quite often to a better quality, being honest. Yeah. So so it's the natural order of things in that regard. I mean, as you know, I'm very big on organic growth. I'm very big on using organic tools as a way to sort of grow communities and things like that. And I think somewhere there's a sort of sweet spot in the middle there, because I tend to find that the paid advertising, the paid stuff actually does better when it's got a solid platform to jump off from. So again, I don't know what your thoughts are in regard to organic growth, because I know there's always that time money dilemma.
Yeah, I think organic growth's harder on like Facebook pages, because I think Facebook makes it, as you said, it's paid to play. I think Facebook tries to make it difficult for businesses on purpose. So I think growing like personal pages on Facebook's a lot more lenient, but trying to grow pages is a bit harder. Of course, there's ways to do it. But I think it's very, very important that people have their pages built out, because if you run Facebook ads, a lot of, I think it's 60% or 70%. There's or it might be like 40%, but whatever it is, it's a high number. Check your reviews. They go and check you before they're going to become a lead. So you need to have your Facebook page built out. When people are clicking on your page, do you have a cover photo? Is it smiley faces? Do you have a few posts to show that you are like active and you're still a martial arts school that's running? Do you have posts there that are going to relate to the people who are actually coming to the page? Or do you just have loads of kids' pictures, but you're advertising for men's classes? Like, I think it's very, very important that people have their social platforms at least built out to look good. Otherwise, when they are running ads, there's going to be people who are going to those pages. It doesn't look how it did on the ad, and then they're not going to be coming across, if that makes sense. As far as like how to grow yourself organically and getting likes and getting comments and things like that, I'm not the expert on that, so I'm not going to give you an answer on it. But I think it's very, very important to have that base there. So when people are coming from the ads, they're going to still take the action that they were going to take.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there needs to be something for them to come to, doesn't there? So, so that brings us along then to the festival itself and the presentation that you're going to be looking to do. Now, you mentioned earlier on about things that you can't necessarily talk about right now today, but I assume that the discussion will be in and around things along that vein. So what can you tell us? Anything at the moment?
So at the moment, obviously, I help people with Facebook ads. So what I talk about at the festival will be Facebook ad related, probably with some extras in there. But more than anything, anyone who comes to me, I'm just going to give you a load of stuff because anyone who goes to like my Facebook page or anything like that, you'll see like I'm big on giving people the resources. I don't believe that information should be guarded. Like information should be free. And then if you want me to implement the information, then maybe implement it for you, then maybe that's the paid side of it. But I don't believe in like charging for information. So if you come to me at the festival, I'm just going to give you as much as I physically can, Facebook ads wise. I speak to a lot of martial arts learners, so I know the main struggles that people have. So the presentation that I put together will just be trying to mainly solve those struggles for you as much as physically possible. As you saw then, you asked me like, what are the main tips I can give people for ads? I'm just reeling them off because genuinely I want to help people. I hope someone hears those tips and like, I should be running leads, or maybe my picture isn't good enough, and they can just hear the information. And then if you want to go ahead and implement that yourself and get better results and tell me about it, I'll be very happy for you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so that's so in the meantime, then, how can people reach out to you between now and then? Because I'm sure that a lot of people will have some questions after this.
So reach out to me on Facebook, realistically. As far as taking on new clients and things like that, I'm not even taking on clients right now. I'm so focused on trying to make my service better at this present moment that I'm not even taking on anyone else right now. But still reach out to me on Facebook. Check out my Facebook. I've got loads of free stuff on there. I've got a group that I've just opened as well where we're dropping loads of bangers in there. So just check out my Facebook. My name's Donavan Wint, and you'll find me. You've probably got a good few mutual friends if you're in the martial arts world. And yeah.
Fantastic. Well, what I'll do is I'll stick the Facebook link to your page in the description on this video. And yeah, and we look forward to hearing what you've got to say at the festival. So thanks very much for talking with us today. I appreciate you busy. And yeah, looking forward to it, my friend.
Now, awesome. Thank you for having me. I do really appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.